Hi, welcome to the hot seat. I'm Josephine Moon. Today I have with me mega best-selling author Leonie Dawson. Welcome, Leonie.
Oh, thanks, Jomo. I love you. Thanks for having me here.
It's so exciting to have you here. I have followed you for so many years. I think it's like 12 years or so now, and just watched your success just grow and grow and grow, which is just really, really cool. So it's so great to speak to you.
Oh,
Have
and I love
you
that we're in-person friends now as well. And every time I go into a bookstore, I make sure I point out all your books and loudly say, "Oh, there's my friend Josephine Moon's books. Oh, I'm so proud of her." Like I'm just like, oh, I'm insufferable.
that's really kind. Thank you. That's very cool.
And
You
I have this service I perform. So like all my author friends, whenever I go into a bookstore, it's like visiting friends, right? And so I always make sure I like put them on end caps or turn to face them, like just fix everything up.
Yes, yes. A lot of people do that. I'm always too scared to touch them, but it's great if other people do it for me. That's lovely. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, you're in my rotation, babes.
Very cool. So we are here today to talk about your current new book, which is out, and it is really timely because, well, you can tell us all about it, but it's really timely. So tell us all about this great new book of yours.
Sure. So it is less of a like I wrote a long book with words and more of a you use this workbook to fill out your own fucking words. But you're setting your goals for your life and for your business for the year ahead. And I created them really for myself like 13 years ago now. And I just wanted something that felt really juicy and fun and inspiring and creative to set my goals with. And they just kind of, and I just made them for myself. And then I thought, oh, these are really fucking cute. I'll just put them online, see if anybody else wants to do their goals with me. And I thought it'd be cool if like 10 people like bought a PDF of it and did it with me. But it went gangbusters. So I sold like 1,000 copies in the space of a few weeks. And now they've gone on to be used by over 500,000 people worldwide. I just can't believe that it kind of took off this own like revolution of its own.
Yeah, well, they are really popular, and I know I love them. I've bought them year after year in many different iterations because they've sort of changed over the years. They've always been, fantastic and really useful and really inspiring. Um, apart from that, though, you are a really prolific writer. Like you blog constantly. You've written lots and lots of stuff, and you've got such a. I think for me, I know for me, but I think for a lot of reasons, I think the reason a lot of people love you so much is because of your authenticity, because of how honest and just open and sharing you are about your life and things going on in the world. When was the moment, do you think, that you knew you wanted to be a writer?
Always, 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 always. From the earliest age, from kindergarten, I remember anyone saying, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I always knew the answer was I wanted to be a writer, an artist, a poet, somebody who changes the world. Like it was just so deep inside me. It had to be. It had to be. And I was going to, no matter what, I was going to make a way to find out how to do that with my life.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. So beautiful when kids have such a clear vision really early on. And I know I often, say that to other parents too, and say, how cool it is to sort of sit and watch and try and look for those little signs too, so that you can
Mm.
nurture those little seeds and just grow them and grow them. It's very.
Yeah. And
Mm.
I didn't know that it was going to be able to be done as a career. Like I was born into a farming family and they were like, you cannot do that as a career. You will starve. Um, and they really drilled into me the importance of having a career and making money. And so for a little while there, I thought, well, okay, I'm not going to be able to make money in the way that I want to. So if I can't be an artist, if I can't be a writer, then I'll just choose what's second best. And so I'll go and be Prime Minister of Australia. That was absolutely my brain process. So I moved to Canberra when I was 20. I worked in Parliament House. I met a lot of ministers. I started doing a public policy degree at Australian National University. And I was like, well, the second best option, I'm going to do the best at being the second best option. Um, but very quickly realized like, oh, this is not going to work for me because um, it requires things that I don't have. and I don't have a thick skin. I don't. It's fucking paper thin, guys. It's just translucent, and my nerves come out of my skin. And the thing that I realized working in Parliament House, whether you think that politicians are aligned with you or not, they work fucking hard. They work very long hours. During sitting weeks, it's a 6 a.m. to midnight thing, and it's back-to-back events and meeting so many people. And that would fucking crush me. It really would. And so that's when I realized, like, right, okay, it's back to plan A, back to plan A, guys. I'm going to work out a way to fucking make money from being a creative because I can't do this other one. And I'm really glad I did, because this feels like the truest embodiment of what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. You mentioned about how you decided to put your brilliant year on. You haven't held it up for us, actually. Can you show us the book?
Sure. They're just like beige, just like minimalist sort of vibe, just very chill. And they're very, everything's handwritten and hand drawn and hand colored, and they're just so much fun. I just wanted something that would make me smile,
Yeah. They are very beautiful. And so when you decided to put them out for the world, so move them out of your life and into other people's lives, do you remember where you were at that time? Do you remember what the kind of feeling you had was? Or was it just really spontaneous, like, oh, I'll just give this a go? Or do you think there was like a bigger kind of mission behind it?
No, I like made them for myself. I was pregnant with my first daughter, and it was not a Huggies commercial. I knew that I was on a train that I could not stop. I just felt like my life was going to change critically, and in a way that did not feel like I wanted to be pregnant. I wanted to be a mum so much. It's what I'd always wanted to be. And as an undiagnosed autistic person at that point, I was also shitting my fucking pants at just how much my life was going to change, and how much my time would no longer be my own, and my body and my energy, which was very difficult. So I made the workbooks over the space of like 3 days, just for me, as like a lifeline for my own self. It was like a gift for my year ahead. And it really wasn't offhand, like, fuck it, I'll just put it out in the world, and with like no plan whatsoever. Like, I put them out on like Boxing Day. Like, I think, it was because I was like, fuck it, just put it out there. And after I saw the response it got that year, I was like, oh shit, okay, other people are really into this, and this is something I should spend more time on.
Yeah. Yep. Well, many of us, millions of us, are really happy you did. Do you have any particular writing rituals or things you need to do in order to sit down and create all this magic?
No, not at all. Because it's just going to eat into creating time. I just turn up, fucking create, make shit happen, enjoy it, know that I'm going to get distracted a million times over if I've got kids around, and just keep getting back to it. If I was waiting for things to be perfect, like, nothing would ever be written ever. When I had my first baby, she cried every moment she was out of my arms. So for 9 months, I was writing blog posts while breastfeeding on an iPod, just one hand, and I would be writing like 1,000-word blog posts just on there, because it was the only way I could fucking do it. I didn't have two hands. The point is just to get it fucking done, because you'll feel better after doing it.
Yeah. I often live by that. Done is better than good. Just get
Yeah.
done. And also, you can't edit nothing. So you just have to write anything
exactly
to be able to edit it and get it done. Yeah.
Exactly. And like, I got bored during quarantine, and so, like, everyone, and so, like everybody else, not really, I decided to write a erotic novella just for shits and giggles, because I was bored. And then when I got to writing the sex scene, I was like, oh God, I don't know how to do this. And one of my best mates, Tamara Protesso Adams, who happens to be a writing coach, hooray, she was like, just write the worst sex scene you can ever think of, Leonie. Just whatever, like the worst sex scene. And it just took all that pressure off. And I wrote something, and it wasn't the worst sex scene ever, actually. Pretty good, actually.
That's really cool. I'm glad. You do, and that it is. I think that's absolutely true. You just have to have a go, and we mess ourselves up with our heads, thinking what we're going to write, or we're not going to be able to do it badly, and so we just don't even try, and that just doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and also, like, I do want to say, like, the husbands of my friends are very pleased with me for writing that book, because even though they've never read it, they're just like, I really like that book, Leonie. And you know why it is? It took me a little bit to like work out why.
Oh, really? It's
It
pretty
actually
obvious.
did. Is it? Fuck. I just like, I had to like do 2 + 2 equals. What does that mean? The wives are ready and then fucking their husbands. And it just made me feel like a sex fairy. It made me so happy.
the I think that's a term I haven't heard before, the sex fairy.
I know, like it's everything I've ever wanted to be. As a Scorpio, I'm like, yes, the world needs more sex.
I'm going to move on from that one and ask you if there's ever been a book that you've read where you've gotten to the end and gone, oh, that book was so great. I kind of wish I'd written that book.
Oh, like there's books that I read that are so exquisite that like I don't want them to end, but I don't ever feel like I wish I could have written it, because it's always like just some perspective that I couldn't have obtained. So books that I feel like are that level of perfection, I would say More Than a Woman by Caitlin Moran. It's just one of the greatest books ever written. It's like the middle-aged woman's Bible. And I have bought probably 20 copies of that book just to give it to people. Have you read it yet?
Yeah, my book club did it last year or the year before, but yeah,
Oh,
I think
I
about the
think
same time. So I remember you writing a blog post about it, and I was like, yeah, we just read it too. And yeah, everyone was just like, oh man, we needed that.
so good. So good. And then I really love Raina Wynn's books as well. She writes about walking, like walking long distances. And I'm never going to do that. Never. But I like to read books about it. Actually, I had a friend, she said to me, oh yeah, I just went over to New Zealand and walked along the coast on this route with my daughter for 2 weeks. I said, oh my God, I know all about that. She's like, have you walked it? And I was like, no, I read a book about it. It's the same thing, babes, except I don't have a sore back from sleeping on the fucking ground.
Yeah. And this is why we read books, right? Because they transport us to other places,
Yeah,
physically, emotionally, intellectually, and everything else. Yeah.
exactly. While we're safe in bed.
Yep. Definitely. Okay, then. So going back to your book, Your Brilliant Year, My Brilliant Year,
Whatever.
The Brilliant Year. How do you want the people who buy this book and work through there's a lot in it. There's a lot, like you cover all the aspects of life, family, friends, money, business, creativity, all that. Like you go through the whole lot when you get to the end. How do you want people to feel when they get to the end?
Like there's just a window that's just been opened. And this little light comes in and they're like, oh, what I want matters and I can make great miracles in my life.
That's beautiful.
Mm.
So if you were, so much of you in your books and in your writing, and then if someone was to make a film about you and your work and your life, who would you cast to play Leonie?
Probably Catherine Hahn, because she's just a dirty bitch and I love that. Like especially kind of like the character she plays in Bad Mums. Just I love that kind of just slutty energy. It's just brilliant. I aspire to that level of slut, like that level of just glorious slut energy.
Awesome. I wonder if she would take you up on the offer if we put it out there.
Yeah, yeah. Just because you're just such a great embodiment of being a glorious slut, Catherine. Come on now, of course.
What are you reading at the moment?
I am reading Raina Wynn's third book, which is called Landlines, and it's just exquisite and beautiful. And I just finished reading Catherine May's The Electricity of Every Living Thing. And it's really funny because they're both like they're just such nice bookends for each other. So Catherine May writes beautiful books as well. She is an English writer and she is autistic. And The Electricity of Every Living Thing is her coming to terms with her late autistic diagnosis. And she does that by going on a long walk through England along the coastline. And it's just beautiful and poignant. I didn't want it to end. She just writes just with this gorgeous, calm quiet to it. No, it's not calm, it's quiet. There's like this real depth to it that I find autistic people have. And then opening up Raina Wynn's Landlines and her 3 books. So she's got The Salt Path, a second one I've read, and Landlines. It's about her dealing with her husband's life-threatening diagnosis. He's got a neurological condition that means that he's on the decline, but he gets better when they walk. And so they go on these series of long walks, usually following the English coastline. And so I love that I'm just in this world of just reading about people walking the English coastline to deal with shit.
Yeah. I've read Catherine's book as well. And it is, yeah, she's a great writer.
Yeah. Have you read Wintering?
No, I've read The Electricity, but I haven't read Wintering yet.
Yeah. Wintering was really beautiful as well. Wintering is about like the times that we need to be a hermit in our lives and how we don't need to be in flourish all year, or every season of our lives. So that's really scrumptious. And she's got a new book coming out that I've already pre-ordered. I'm pretty sure it's about like internet addiction or some shit. I don't know, but I'm in.
Yes, that whole idea of wintering is something I really need to learn to embrace a lot more myself. I always say I feel like a border collie, like I'm always kind of looking for the next job. What do I do?
Same, boo, same.
All right, and so finally then, what is Leonie working on now? What can we look forward to?
So I am going to close my enrollments to my Brilliant Biz and Life Academy, which is the place where I just like pool all of my courses and programs into one thing where you can buy for under $100 because why the fuck not? I just like making things super accessible and just an instant yes for people. I'm looking forward to more being louder this year, more out in the world. I feel like I've been kind of in like hermit mode, kind of a semi-sanctuary for a few years, especially since the pandemic. And I'm really looking forward to just being out in the world, doing more things, hugging people for inappropriate lengths of time and that kind of shit. So loud. I want to be loud and expansive this year.
That sounds very good and very Leonie, and I am here for it.
Yay!
I want more of it. Thank you so much for joining me in the hot seat today. It's been just awesome to chat to you. And now these days you live not far from me. When I first knew of you, you were down in Canberra, I was up here, but now you're like in my hood, which is awesome.
I know. We're in the neighbours. We're in the neighbours, my baby.
Very cool. All right, thank you so much. And I hope people watching will go and get My Brilliant Year, because it is a brilliant year book. Like it'll take you through the year.
I love you, Jomo.
See you, babe.
Bye.
Bye.